So this video right here, I'm gonna start off by issuing an apology to my man Danny Swift Garcia. Woo! Swift Garcia. Now, I've been on here on the record expressing my disappointments in his recent decisions. Like at first, it was said that he was going to face Andre Berto, which I was cool with. I liked that. He was still getting used to the new division, so I thought Andre Berto would be a nice little that would probably for me that'd be the last that'd be the last that'd be the right step in the right that'd be the right step in the right direction. But I wouldn't want to see any more competition like that anymore for a while from Dan Garcia. But then we found out that he wanted to face John Molina Jr. And that's when I came on here and made my videos expressing my disappointment. But then we found out that that fight was scrapped, and he doesn't want to fight John Molina Jr. He wants to face this guy. I don't even know his name, Sammy something. I'm sorry, I don't know his name, but. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm happy with this fight going about. That I'm excited to see this fight. But I've got to tell you, the fact that it's been confirmed that Dan Garcia is going to be facing Keith Thurman early next year makes it all better. Okay, it almost completely vindicates him in my opinion. I don't see how anybody can complain about this fight. In fact, with this fight happening, I don't want to see any more cherries around Dan Garcia's pictures because he's not a cherry picker. I'm sorry, but you can't call a guy like this who has one of the best resumes amongst the active fighters today in boxing. You just can't I'm tired of this nonsense. In my opinion, he has one of the best resumes in the welterweight division, and he's about to put it up against another elite welterweight. All right, if anything, at least take that whole the whole notion that he's a cherry picker. Take that away from him. Don't disrespect what this man has done. All right. I know a lot of people have been disappointed with some of the decisions that Dan Garcia has been making in the past year or so. But let me say this. All right. It's not all of his fault. Okay. Dan Garcia, he moves up to the welterweight division and he faces Paulie Malignaggi for his first bout. Okay. Now, in fact, let me go back further than that. Let me start with the whole Lamont Pearson, because I think a lot of people, they still have a little salt in their mouth for the decision that was made that night. Let me tell you something. It's not Dan Garcia's fault. Look, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you people. We all know that Lamont Pearson won that night. Lamont Pearson definitely deserved the victory over Dan Garcia. He was a better fighter that night. There's no questioning that, okay? But it is what it is. It's not like Dan Garcia, it's not like there's any evidence that Dan Garcia paid the judges or anything like that, okay? So, we need to stop with this nonsense and stop putting the blame on Dan Garcia for a decision that the judges made. At least Dan Garcia fought Lamont Pearson. Okay, that should be the focus. We fought him. Okay, he lost, but on record, he won. Okay, let's move on now. He's in the welterweight division. All right, what do you want him to be? What do you want Dan Garcia to be doing? Is he just living with that for the rest of his life? No, let him move on to the welterweight division. So now he's in the welterweight division, right? First person he fights is Paulie Malignaggi. Makes sense because that's the first. That's his first fight in the new division, and even though it would have been nice to see him go after a big dog like Keith Thurman or Kelberg or something like that, he went after Paulie Malignaggi, which is fine for me because again, this is a nice little fight to get his feet wet in a completely new division. All right, so after he faces Paulie Malignaggi, the WBC decides that they want to have Amir Khan and Dan Garcia fight for the WBC belt that Floyd Mayweather dropped. What does Amir Khan decide to do? He decides, hey, I want to move up in weight, and I want to get my ass knocked out by Saul Canelo Alvarez, all right, instead of Dan Garcia. So how is that Dan Garcia's fault? How is that Dan Garcia's fault that he ended up facing Robert Guerrero instead? He was supposed to fight Amir Khan, okay? What was he supposed to fight? Keith Thurman, Sean Porter? They were about to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that so. Put that to rest, okay? He fought Robert Guerrero, okay? He may not have been the best welterweight at the time, but he's still a decent name now, okay? Or at least at the time he was. I think we can't argue that. At the time he was a decent name. He had a decent resume. He's beating guys like Andre Berto. I thought that fight with Dan Garcia and Robert Guerrero was an okay fight. Not the best fight. No, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but it was an okay fight. But also, again, it wasn't his fault that it happened. It should have been Amir Khan, but he ran and he fought Saul Canelo Alvarez. So now what happens? Fast forward to today. Dan Garcia, There's conversations about him getting in the ring with Andre Berto, conversations about him getting in the ring with Keith Thurman, and this is what I think happened. Dan Garcia probably knew that he was going to be facing Keith Thurman before this was all released to the public, but he decided, hey, you know what? Let me get this fight in with Sammy. What's his face? Get a little, because I haven't fought since I fought Robert Guerrero. I need to get in the ring soon. Okay, Andre Berto, he's a good fighter. He probably give me a little bit of work, a little too much work for what I need for Keith Thurman in preparation. So he probably decided, hey, let me scoop down, let me pull a little Rod Soko again. You get someone that's not too good, not too like that won't. There's no possible chance of this guy upsetting me or giving me a hard night. But just have an excuse to get back into the ring. Okay, Dan Garcia to me strikes me as the type of guy that needs to be financially motivated to get in the ring. In fact, a lot of these guys are. That's why he probably wanted to stay busy. That's why he probably wanted to get back in the training camp so he can get ready for that Keith Thurman fight. And so with all that being said, put some respect on this man's name. Okay, I'm not saying that Dan Garcia has made the greatest decisions ever. But we at least now know that even though he's going to be facing Sammy What's-His-Face, he's going to be facing, it's a signed, done deal that he's going to be facing Keith Thurman on March next year. Okay? So I'm enough with this bullshit that he's a cherry picker. I love you, my man, Watcher and Librarian. I love you guys. But I'm talking to y'all, okay? Put some respect on my man Danny's name. Put some respect on it. But, it is what it is, man. It's no secret that I'm a big fan of Dan Garcia's. And I want to see him do well. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit biased, but I've seen what he's done, and to me, Dan Garcia, in my opinion, he doesn't get enough credit for what he is one of those guys that actually goes out there and fights decent competition. This is just the latest example. The whole Keith Thurman situation, the latest example. We've been here a lot of times. We've been here where we've been saying, "Oh, Dan Garcia can't do this and he can't beat that." We were here for Amir Khan. We were here for Lucas Matisse. And even though in my opinion, in my eyes, he did not beat Lamont Pearson, he at least went there and fought him. And now he's going to do the same thing with Keith Thurman. Let's not, if he loses to Keith Thurman, let's not just tear apart Dan Garcia's legacy as if he's never fought anybody, because he has. Okay, just stop it. All right, just stop it. Don't do that. That's not necessary. Okay, it's okay to say that Keith Thurman is a better fighter than Dan Garcia, and that's why he won. All right, it's not that Dan Garcia is a fucking bum. All right, and to be honest, shit. This is the part of the video that I'm gonna start talking a little shit, because I've gotten that first part out of the way, my apology for Dan Garcia and whatnot. But now I'm gonna talk a little shit. Even though my brain is telling me that Keith Thurman is probably gonna I hate the fact I'm gonna have to say this, but I think that Keith Thurman, my brain's telling me that Keith Thurman is going to beat Dan Garcia. But my heart and something in my heart is telling me that Dan Garcia's got this. He's going to take that. Look, I'm telling you right now, if Danny Garcia beats Keith Thurman, I want to also say this, okay? I'm also a fan of Keith Thurman's. I'm not the biggest fan of Keith Thurman's, but I like Keith Thurman. I think he's a hell of a fighter. He just went to war with Sean Porter, and I'm not mad at him for taking the whole year off after that fucking fight. That was a hell of a fight, and shit. As long as he's giving us fights like this every year, I don't fucking care if he fights once a year. Just give us fights like these. Give us quality fights that make us tune in at least once a year. And if that's all you want to do, and then you want to go into go back inside your room or whatever, go to the basement, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. And he's about to do it again with Dan Garcia, a quality fighter. So both of these guys, they can definitely benefit from each other. If either guy, it means a lot. A win on either of these guys would mean a lot. Okay, I really hope that whoever loses, I don't want to hear none of that bullshit. Oh, this guy was overrated. Like, if Dan Garcia beats Keith Thurman, dude, Keith Thurman was just underrated. Get the fuck out of here. We all know what Keith Thurman is, okay? We know what Dan Garcia is, okay? There's just a lot of fucking haters that just want to hate on one or the other. I'm tired of that nonsense. But what I would like to see, though, me personally, I would like to see Dan Garcia pull out a win, because I think that this man has gotten enough hate. And he needs to put some of you haters on check. So it is what it is. A casual fan here. I'll be back with some more shit later.